Hi everyone! Today on DoodleDrawArt we're going to draw Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon 2. So what I'm going to do first is just plan out my paper so that I have enough room for the whole dragon. I'm going to place his head right here, and I'm just going to draw a bit of a faint oval here. You might need to switch to HD settings if you want to really see all of these small lines I'm about to draw. So the way I'm drawing Toothless right now is that he's standing facing us with his wings out to the side. So from his head, the next thing that I'm going to see is his chest, and it's going to come down in this direction here. So this will be the area for his chest. And then his legs are going to be coming out from the chest. So one leg crossing down in front here, and one leg coming in to meet the other leg here. And then we're going to see his wings. So one wing is going to be curling in behind. We aren't going to see much of that one at all. And the other wing is going to be coming out from here like an arm. So I'm going to draw the idea of an arm coming out from the side like this. And really it's a good idea to use as faint of a line as possible when doing these types of marks. So in thinking about the rest of the dragon, I want to get the proportion right on the wing. So I'm going to think about his back leg. So the angle that he's standing on, I will see this back leg sort of sneaking in behind the front legs, and then I'm going to see more fully the other back leg, which is going to be coming down around here. So this will be all four of his legs, which tells me that I can finish his wing from here. So this wing is going to swoop up. It's like an arm with a big elbow that points forward, and then his wing is going to come down out here like this. So from this side we'll see the drapey bits of his wing coming out to meet at the end. So this is basically where Toothless is going to be, and if you want to you can even draw in the area where his tail will be showing. So that will be coming out from behind here. So, alright. We're ready to start drawing in some features. So I'm going to start right in on his head, because this is always the most challenging part of any character, is getting their face to look just right. So in this area here, he's going to have a mouth that's going to go down at the bottom, just a really thin line of mouth that's going to come across like this, a bit pointed on the bottom. And then he's going to have a nose that's almost touching the mouth right here at the little curved spot. So his nose is really just two little lines that come in toward the middle here. And then we're going to draw his eyes. And his eyes are shaped a bit like a watermelon seed. I'm going to say that's what they look like. And they're fairly far apart. Now I see I've just put that one a little bit too close already. So I'm going to close it up a bit more. And I might even pull it lower. So if his nose is here, his eye is really going to be more just at the point of his nose there. That looks better. And that will give me lots of room to put this eye far away, because this dragon's eyes are not terribly close together. So I'll just have a look at this and think about the proportion, and I think that I'm happy with this. So this picture, we're really going to have quite a few sketch lines here at first. Making his eye coming in here. The thing with sketch lines is that they really help you establish the proportion. If you just go right ahead and draw all of your lines right at the beginning, you sometimes find that you've pressed really hard and made a mark on your paper, and then you're not happy with the result. So I've drawn in his black pupils here and two little dots where I'm going to leave that part uncolored so it looks like his eye is shiny. And then up here he's got some little spines on his forehead. So they're going to stop right here, and they're actually pointing back. You can't really see them very well. We know they're there, so we're just going to faintly mark in some little ziggy zags till we get to the top. So when we get right up here, this is the top of his head. We're going to see it ending with two horn shapes. So these two horn shapes just come out from his head and then curve in around a bit. So another one, same thing here. And he's got his head a bit to the side, so they're not going to be exactly equal. Alright, so then we can finish drawing his head shape across here. and then down. So these were not his ears, these were some kind of horns. But as we continue over, we're going to actually see something like an ear here. So this is going to come out to a point about that big, and then it's going to come around to here. So this is his ear, and it's going to attach in to the side of his face, which curves in under his eye. So here we have the side of his face. And then on the other side, same thing, we're going to have an ear up here, pointing up and curving down. This one looks a little bigger because his head is angled towards us. And then we'll finish with the indication of the side of his face. I'm not connecting up this section here. I'm just going to draw in, I don't even know I don't know the anatomy of this dragon particularly well. There's something here. I don't know if these are horns. You can tell me. Are they ear flaps? What are they? I don't know. I'm not very good at knowing what the names of things are. I know what they look like. That's the most important thing here. So here we have most of the features for his face. Now he's got a very thick brow, so there's going to be a fair amount of shading in here, in this eye corner. And there's like an extension here that kind of goes up over his eye that gives it a hooded look or a darker look up there. So that will help us when we're working on our shading. And then we're just going to finish in here with a little bit more of a firm line for his mouth. And he always looks a little cranky, doesn't he? Even though he's very sweet and helpful and brave, all those things. So I'm just going to push in a little further here on these lines since I'm happy with them. And he's got the most beautiful green eyes. They're fun to color because there's so much different color in there. It's like lime green and dark green, all these lovely pretty greens. Alright, so here we have the side of the dragon's face, and I'm just going to draw now. This was where I said his chest would be, but this is bigger than his chest actually is. So right here where his face comes in, this is where we're going to start to see the line of his neck and into his chest. So we're just going to come straight down like this and then curve out a bit, which is going to take us right into this back leg, straight down to where he's standing. And the same thing's going to happen here. We're going to see the back leg just curving in. It's going to come in behind this other leg. Alright, so then on this side we're going to draw his, let's do his shoulder next. So coming in from under his chin here, we're just going to bring a little bit of a neck down, not too much, but we're going to leave room to attach his harness. And then we're going to start with his shoulder. So it's going to come up over the shoulder and then down towards the wing. And same thing from underneath here. We're going to have from his chest this line coming up under his arm and then along towards his wing. So then the wing is going to start. So it's going to be webbed and attached to this, and it's going to curve up and then curve down to a point, just like that. So the shape that you make here, it's up to you. It's however he happens to be standing at the moment. And then over here we're going to draw in some of these scale points that go down the back of him. Can't really see too much of that because we're going to actually have his wing in the way. So now the wing is like this, and it's going to be coming in from this shape here. So we'll draw the wing swooping in like this, and then up and down to a really nice point, and then up and down again to another point, and then up and down again to another point, and then we can finish with the tip of his wing. Alright, so the most important thing about these is that they're all U-shapes. Okay, so here where this wing is coming in, it's coming in pretty much exactly where the back leg starts. And I really like this shape of Toothless's legs because they're very muscular and strong looking. He's got, do you remember when I don't know if you guys watched, I did a series of Rio, the birds from that movie, and these toes of Hiccup, these claws, they're quite a lot like bird claws when you draw them. There's just like a curve that comes out, and then there's like the bottom bit, and then it curves out to a point. So these are all of his claw feet right here coming in. Okay, so now we're going to draw this front leg. So he actually is wearing a harness, so that strap is going to be coming underneath his chest and up over his leg here. These are just sketch lines, just kind of get an idea. Then there's this little harness mechanism for, I guess, for steering or something, and there's going to be a strap coming down here with a little buckle on it, something under his neck, like this. So this is where all that stuff's going to be, but that's not how it's going to look when we're done. Those are just some sketch lines to help me with his leg. So now I'm going to draw the leg coming down, and this one's the one at the very front, so we're going to draw it in front of the other. And we're going to come up from the other side and do the same thing. So from under this harness, coming along, a little bit of a knee. So you see here it's a little narrower and a little wider, but not really much at all. And then we're going to bring this one in and down. So this is the end of his foot here, but it actually ends with these claw toes again. So we're going to have one going out this way, and one sort of in front of it. A little bit more curved, and then there's one here, and there's one pointing out to the side, and he's got just a little like dew claw, I guess, pointing out to the back. That's what you would call that on a dog. You would call it his dew claw. I don't know why, but that's what they're called. And then over here we've got his other foot not finished, so he's got a couple toenails showing on this side, but not all of them because his foot is in behind the other foot. Okay, so we've done 3 of the legs. We might as well do the 4th one. And again, we're going to still be seeing this strap coming through here. And the leg that we see from behind is just going to be this much of it coming from here, and then coming in behind and curving down to stand on. And he's going to have a big claw here and another claw here. So there we have all of his feet finally drawn. And now in between his feet, we might as well sketch in his tail. So if you remember from the first movie, I haven't seen the second movie yet because it's not out yet. From the first movie, he had a tail problem, didn't he? And he had to get a new piece made for his tail so that he could fly. So I would imagine that we will have to show that this is more of a red section for this prosthetic tail, and then the rest of it is the dark color. So there's his tail in behind, and I'm just going to clean up a few of these lines so that you can see a little bit better what it is I've drawn. I like working with pencil. Some people go straight to ink, but I don't know. I'm not a perfect artist, but I do know when things look right and wrong. So for me, pencil is the way to go, because it gives me the chance to fix things without worrying if I have made permanent mistakes. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I like it. Nothing there that looks like it needs to be changed yet. And now I'm going to keep working. So over here, we're just going to see his wings sticking out and back. That's super simple. Really not seeing much of that at all. And then we're going to draw in his harness, because that's pretty much all that's left. So underneath his chin, there's going to be a strap that's going to come straight across like this. So it's just a brown leather strap. And it connects up here to this other strap, which has a ring. So I'm going to draw the center of the ring first. And then I'm going to draw the strap coming down to the center, and the strap going away from the center, and then I'm going to finish drawing the ring around the edge. And I'll see if I can clean that up for you as well. Alright, so there's the circle and the connecting of the strap, and then the ring goes through the leather so it sticks out along the sides here. Alright, and then underneath he's got this, I almost finished that line, strap coming under, and another strap coming under, and then we've got just some circles, some little connectors. It's like a cable. It's connecting all around with some, I don't know how he came up with this contraption, but it seems to work. And then over here, we're just going to have like an up and down loop. Okay, so again, I'm just going to erase a little bit in here. Just clean up these sketch marks. And so then there's just like a hoop that keeps the whole thing on. And that's pretty much it. There's probably more detail than that, but that's as much as I'm going to draw. And then over on this side, we're going to have, looks like a bit of a foot mechanism for Hiccup to put his foot through. So it's like a little foot platform with a strap over the top. And it's got it connected by a wire there. And a little strap coming down this way. So that's good enough. I'm not really sure on the details of that one too much, but it looks a bit like that. If you know better than that what it looks like, then I would love to see your version. You should post it on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook or even on Google+. I have a Google+ account, and I've got lots of people who are following me on Google+. And we have a little chat there sometimes. People show me their pictures. Alright, so these are all the lines that I'm going to draw, and now I'm going to get out my Sharpie, and I'm going to use my ultrafine point and go over all of these lines. So I will do that in time-lapse. Alright, so now I'm going to erase all of the sketch marks that I've drawn, and then I'm going to come back in with a pencil and mark in some details for my shading. Alright, so just using my pencil now, I'm going to look closely at the different designs that are happening in Toothless's features. So in his ear, you're going to see a bit of a line up here, maybe it was a cut, and then he's got almost, I want to say stripes, but just some little lines that go out to the side like this, and then just these little scales showing on his ear, and the same thing on the other ear, sort of like stripes, but notice that they're curving as I draw them. And then I'll also show some scales. I'm not drawing every single scale, obviously, that would take forever. So then in between his eyes, there are some fairly obvious marks of scales through here. And again, some are bigger and some are smaller, but we're certainly not going to draw all of them. Just going to give an indication here that he's got some scales in between here. And the same thing on these little ears. I don't know what to call them. And then over here, same thing. And then coming down the side of his face, see some more scales over here and this side. And like I said before, we're going to have dark shading in some of the areas of his eye. It's going to be darkest in and around his eye sockets here and in behind his eye, like this. So we do see some scales just right on his nose. And we'll see a few under his eyes. Can't really see any under here, it's going to be so dark. And then his skin on his chest is just going to be sort of rough like an elephant's. But we are going to see the scales on his feet. So the way we're going to notice these when we draw them is they're just going to be darker black patches. Most important thing is that they are different sizes around here because his scales are not perfect. You might want to make a few little lines in his toenails too, just to make them look rugged. So I'll be doing these little lines with dark pencil. And then again on this foot we'll draw just a few of his scales showing. It's going to be pretty dark in this section over here. And then on his back leg, same thing, we'll just draw sort of, this one's farther away, so the scales will look a bit smaller all the way through. Alright, so this is going to help me when I color him in now, because I'm going to be able to see the areas that I wanted to highlight the different features. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to use color pencils for this project. And first thing I'm going to do is use my color pencil on all these pencil lines that I just made, and I'm going to do all of this in time lapse. Alright, so this is how I draw Toothless, the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon 2, which I believe the subtitle for this movie is Toothless, a Dragon Hero's Story. So this will be, I can't wait to see the movie. It's coming out pretty soon, so yeah. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed watching this today, and I would love it if you did, that you would click like, and if you would comment below. Tell me what your favorite character is from this movie, whether it's Astrid or Hiccup or Toothless or someone else. And I hope you subscribe to my channel so that you can watch all my future videos. Thanks for watching.